Hello Internet, this video is part of a brand new playlist on Scott's Garage called Home Remodel. My wife and I recently purchased this 20-year-old house from my parents, and we have 3 months before we have to move in, so we're using this time to remodel the house. Obviously, we've already begun here in the kitchen. I'll be replacing all of this laminate flooring. I had to remove the lower cabinets already. And we decided to upgrade the cabinets from this, the natural wood, to painted. And that's what this video is all about. If this interests you, keep watching. Now, I have to say I love natural wood. Always have, always will. These cabinets were natural when they were installed. However, they are outdated. My wife really wanted them to be painted and painted this color, which is called Caribbean Blue from Home Depot. If you go to Home Depot and order cabinets, this color is one of the choices, Caribbean Blue. So I went to the paint department and I asked for Caribbean Blue, and the person that was behind the counter, he couldn't figure out what I was asking for. Then we figured it out that it's a cabinet color, but it's not an official paint color. So I went to the cabinet section. They had a panel with this color. I brought it to the paint department and they were able to scan it and match it perfectly. My wife absolutely loves this color. I love how it turned out, spraying it on. I use a less conventional way of doing it, which I will explain to you here in a moment. Now, normally, if you are going to use a paint gun for spraying water-based enamel, it would be an airless paint gun. I currently don't have one, but I have this. And this is a gun that I purchased about 9 months ago to paint the Jeep. And it is called Drizzle D1, and it's by Intercraft, and it's a low volume, low pressure air spray gun. And I absolutely love this gun. It is so versatile. I did everything with the Jeep. I used this gun to paint. It's very affordable. I'll put an affiliate link below for your convenience. If you use my link, it costs you the same on Amazon, but eventually Amazon will send me just a small portion of the sale. Now, what makes this very unique is that it comes with an air pressure regulator built in, an oil water separator. Sometimes you can get water, just humidity in the line that kind of messes up your paint. But the greatest thing is that there are 3 nozzle sets. So 1.3 millimeter is what you use for automobile paint, and then 1.5 millimeter maybe for clear coat, and then but 1.7 is a very large nozzle, and that's what I successfully used on the cabinets, and they turned out flawless. I mean, there's just no runs at all. It's going to sound like I'm bragging, but this turned out just professionally looking, and I just see no flaws at all. I'm happy with how it turned out, and I'll just attribute it to this Drizzle gun. Now, the next step, and this is really probably the most important step, is preparing the wood, the natural wood, and we'll walk through that next. But before we do so, we need to remove all the cupboard doors, which for this house is quite easy. What I'm doing here is washing each panel with TSP. I think that's trisodium phosphate. You need rubber gloves for this. You wash it and then you rinse it, and it really prepares the natural wood. It also cleans it really well. My wife is basically scuffing up the polyurethane using a 3M scuffing pad, medium coarse. All right, you probably noticed that we have removed the microwave and the refrigerator, and I've begun taping out the upper cabinets. But I want to give you the detail of that now. So this is wide tape. This is 2-inch tape. And on the back side, there is a lip where the door hinges and closes here, but there's a backside lip. And the sticky side of the tape, you simply want to stick there, and then we'll be cutting some sheets of plastic a little bit narrower than the tape and sticking it in there. I'm not going to worry about painting any of the inside. That's going to remain the wood color. We're only interested in painting the outside frame and the upper part, the crown molding and that. So I'll continue taping it out. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the panels, and that is to clean the frame, for lack of a better term, with TSP. I think TSP stands for trisodium phosphate, and there's a formula here for how much to mix, and I just mixed up a little bit here. This is really good for prepping wood. One of the things I've noticed with this TSP is that no matter, even if the wood looks clean, by the time I'm done, the water will be really an ugly gray. It definitely lifts oils and waxes and any dirt. And it also does prep the wood for the primer paint. So I'm simply going to use some TSP around the frame, and then I'll follow that up by simply using this is a 3M pad. You can use a Scotch-Brite pad. There's a variety of them. And you simply want to scuff the surface. Now the original wood, this natural wood, probably has polyurethane. It has some sort of coating over it. And you need to just scuff it up so that the primer will adhere better. Okay, I want to show you what I mean by dirty water. So that's all I did. It was clean, and you can see it's how gray it is. And now you do need to rinse it. Now, obviously you can't like spray it with water. So I simply have some clean water, rinse water, and I will just rinse it this way by just going over it again. I'm gonna wait for that to dry. The last thing I'll do is I will tape in, mask off the walls. Even though we're painting over the peach, I still want to have a clean look. So I want to show you my setup. I'm out in my garage. Most of my projects, even if they involve remodeling the house, somehow, some way end up in my garage, but this is a good place to paint. And I will be using the air gun, as I mentioned the drizzle. I will be respirated, a mask that will filter out all the airborne particles. Now, this is not like automobile paint. However, it's water-based enamel, which normally is very safe. You don't have to wear a mask when you paint it with the brush. but there will be particles in the air, and therefore I will be wearing that. And also, to make it work, I did the same thing with the Jeep when I painted it, is I have two high volume fans that I bought from Costco, and they will basically create a vacuum. They're gonna suck a lot of air out of the garage. And what I'll do is I'll make the house the input, if you will, of the air. So as I walk through here in the kitchen, and again, I'll be priming these as well. So I'll be turning this fan on right here after I sweep. I don't want to blow dust around, but it'll be on high, so it's going to be sucking air in. There'll be a nice airflow for when I paint in here, and then also again in the garage. I also have two tripods set up, just my YouTube channel. It's good to do that, especially when you're painting. So I will be filming it, at the very least time-lapsing it, but I'll be able to easily put the camera there, and then when I'm in the kitchen, put it there. So we're almost ready to start. So here's my drizzle gun again, and I want to point out that this gun also came with a paint cup adapter. So I've changed the paint cup system. Now this is all dirty. I've used it for a lot of different things, but you get these kits, and basically they have an outer thing, and you can use it to measure harder plastic. And you put one of these clean inserts in, and you mix your paint if you're mixing it. I'm not going to be mixing it here. And then the lid has a filter all the way around. The more conventional cup, there's a filter in line, and those always get gunked up, especially with enamel. This works real well. So it's a wider filter. The paint will basically drip through there when it's on here, and that then attaches to the gun. I'll show you that. But again, the gun came with it, and it's on I have the 1.7 millimeter needle and nozzle on here. Now with the primer, I'm using Behr, Kitchen, and Trim. And this is what was recommended at Home Depot, and it's worked real well so far. So again, I'm going to prime everything using the gun. We'll let that primer dry. I might have to do a couple coats on some of it, and then we'll switch to color. Okay, here I'm spraying the first color coat in the kitchen, and I will spray 2 full wet coats. You just see one. Here's more detail in real time, spraying it, and it just sprayed on so beautifully with this gun, and just overlap 50% as I went. Very much like painting an automobile. And you're just going to see me spray 1 wet coat, but in reality, again, I sprayed the sides, and I sprayed 2 full wet coats on each of the sides of these panels. Well, here they are, both sides of the upper kitchen cabinets. I still have to finish the lower cabinets. There'll be upcoming videos on that. But if you got any value at all from this video, please give me a like. It costs you nothing, but it was a great value to me. And if you're a do-it-yourselfer, yes, you can spray cabinets and make them look professional. Have a great day.